Yeah, so let's get into the story time. And keep in mind, this happened about 2 years ago. I'm a totally different person now. I'm not so naive. Back then, I used to just let people throw shade at me and not think anything of it. But now, if a bitch wanna throw shade, I'm throwing a tree. I'm throwing the whole motherfucking tree and I'ma leave it on her. But yeah, this is a story time on how my ex-mentor slash friend was a energy vampire, and she was stealing my energy, my light, to make herself look better. So yeah, 2 years ago, this bird moved into the apartment downstairs. Okay, she moved in with her daughter and everything. She seemed cool at first. She was into astrology and numerology just like me. Okay, she was cool. One day she came upstairs to talk to my mom about something, pay rent, something. I don't know what it was, but she came upstairs and we got into a deep conversation. Now at first I knew she was just into like astrology, but a lot of people are just like into astrology, so I didn't think anything of it. But this day when she came upstairs, we started talking about numerology and we were getting deep into the spiritual talk and everything. And I guess she was feeling my vibe. She was like, yo, you should come downstairs, we should talk, have a conversation and everything. Like, she was cool. I was like, okay, someone that's spiritual just like me. She like kind of became obsessed with me being around her. It was weird and I didn't think anything of it. I was like, this is so cool, like she wants to be around me a lot, whatever. She low-key became obsessed being around me, having me around her. Like, I wasn't the type to be like, oh, let's chill, let's chill. Like, I'm not even like that. I'm not really that obsessive when it comes to chilling with friends. She was the one that always initiated us hanging out, me going out with her. She invited me downstairs to her apartment one night, to talk and to get to know each other more. So yeah, we're talking, and she automatically gave red flags. That first night of us getting to know each other, she threw red flags. But my naive self was like, oh no, maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe this is just me trying to push myself away from meeting new people. No, those were straight red flags that I needed to take right then and there to know, like, nah, this bitch ain't shit. So anyways, she was just like asking me very personal questions, like, oh, what's your biggest fears? It's like that. And my ass like told her one of my biggest fears. And that's where I fucked up. Listen, if somebody asks you what's your biggest fears, you tell them I don't got motherfucking fears, even if you do. That's where I fucked up, number one, because she did come around and try to throw that right back in my face. Also, while we were having this conversation, the very first night of me trying to get to know her, us getting to know each other, she literally like asked me something and I was like, oh, I forgot. And she said, oh, maybe you'll remember later because right now you're vibing at a higher frequency. Trying to throw shade like, oh, she's vibrating higher than me, so basically she's better than me or whatever. Like, that was just shade trying to put me down. Whole time I vibrate higher than her. With that right there, that conversation that night was a red flag. Like, what are you trying to say? Like, you're vibrating higher than me? Like, who do you think you are, bitch? Anyways, I didn't think anything of it. A fast forward, she's asking me to come downstairs, hang out with her. She's telling me to come get food with her. She's inviting me over to her mother's house, her cousin's house, her aunt's house. She's inviting me to comedy shows, going out with her in the city. She even asked me to watch her daughter a couple times, but she used to always throw shade. One time she actually wrote a diss track and it was fire. Like, she wrote this, I was like, yo, this is fire. Like, you went off. She posted it on social media and stuff, and I asked her who was the diss track about, and she kind of like dismissed it. She didn't really give me a name. She was like, oh, it's just about this female my ex is dealing with, whatever. It really didn't make no sense as to why she would make a diss track off of someone she really doesn't know. But I was like, oh, okay. But something inside of me was telling me, I think this bitch wrote this diss track about me. But I was like, why would she write a diss track about me? I'm nothing but nice to her. Like, why would she try to diss me? Like, I don't understand. Is she jealous or whatever? She was also throwing the evil eye at me like crazy. My cheeks started breaking out like crazy while I was hanging out with her. I'm talking crazy. Like, I have never broke out like this before. And when someone's throwing the evil eye at you, especially when they're jealous of your beauty, you will start to break out. And I was hanging around this female all the time, and she would like say something, and then like she'll look at me and like wait for a reaction to see if I'm like hating on her or anything. And I was like never the hating type, so she would just like get disappointed. I think that made her even more jealous because I'm not no hater. I remember talking to her about making YouTube videos, and she was like, yeah, but someone would, someone would rather watch someone that, is making videos in the comfort of their own home instead of someone, making videos in their mother's house or whatever. And I was like, that is straight shade. She used to gaslight the shit out of me. She used to just like really try to belittle me. But then I would always amp her up, like, yeah, like I was always amping her up, so I didn't understand. And I was so naive. I was like, maybe I'm just overthinking it. No, this bitch was throwing trees. She didn't throw one tree, she threw a whole bunch. That's how much shade she was throwing at me. I remember one time I was telling her about someone sweeping your feet could cause you not to get married. Like, someone told me that little superstition, and like every time I was in her apartment, she would randomly just start sweeping, and she would just get closer to me, purposely trying to sweep my feet. And I peeped it every time. Of course I was not letting her, but it was mad shady because, bitch, like, you didn't even know that, and then all of a sudden when I told you that, all of a sudden you want to start sweeping and do funny shit like that. Like, this female was real life delusional. She brought me in front of her friends and everything, and I met a couple people off of her online, right? And she would like post me on her story when I'm like slacking or whatever, or like try to embarrass me in some way. It didn't really work, and I realized that she realized it didn't work because she would delete it right away, or she'll see that she wouldn't get the reaction that she wants from me, and she would just be like, oh. I remember her telling her about my number 444, like, that is when I know my angels really got me. And then one day she tried to be like, oh, 444 doesn't mean protection, it doesn't mean any of that, it means this, that, foundation. Like, I don't see anything. And I see what she was doing there. Like, I see what she was trying to do. Like, she was trying to throw me off, she was trying to unground me. Like, she would really just try to get me to, she really just tried to belittle me. Like, every time she would try to give me advice, and then she'd be like, oh, you should be recording this, like, this is top tier advice, whatever. Like, just feeling like she's God or something. And she was basically just stealing my energy to make herself feel better. Okay, let me explain to you guys two different types of energy vampires. There's the energy vampires that steal your energy and just do whatever they want with it, like, you're vibrating way higher than them. And then there's the type of energy vampires that used to have that light within them, but then they got so stuck in their own worlds that they lost it and they don't have it anymore. So they find someone that's very new in their spiritual journey, and they try to get around them, and they steal their energy, their light, and make it seem like they're the ones with that light. So that's basically what she was doing. She always had me around her, and she was like posting a lot of spiritual stuff. She used to be like, oh, well, I'm going through an upgrade, all of us are like on the days that she was like feeling shitty or her head was hurting or whatever the case may be, she was like, yeah, like, a lot of us are going through spiritual upgrades, like, not everyone is, but like, try to make it seem like I'm not upgrading or whatever because I'm not going through those spiritual symptoms. The whole time I'm vibrating higher than her. Fast forward, she agreed to take me on my road test, because at the time I didn't have my license and I was working on getting my license. Yeah, she even let me drive her car a couple times. But people do that. Like, she was showing so much fake love. I asked her to take me on my road test literally 2 weeks before my road test, and then the week before my road test, she like automatically just stopped talking to me. She didn't block me or anything on social media, but she stopped talking to me. She didn't respond to my messages. She was just like trying to set me up for failure. She just stopped talking to me out of nowhere. And by then, I already peeped that she was some shady bitch, because she done did enough shady shit for me to see that, yeah, this bitch is shady as fuck. She was still living in the apartment in my house. So one day I caught her outside getting the mail, and I ran up on her. I was like, yo, do you have a problem with me? Like, what's your issue? Because yeah, I was hurt about this. I was really hurt because I seen her as a mentor and also an older sister that I never had. So I was like, why did she just stop talking to me? Like, what did I do? Like, I didn't understand. She literally stopped talking to me, and then when I ran up on her and asked her what's the problem, she was like, I don't have a problem with you, I just feel disconnected. I was like, what do you mean disconnected? She was like, I just feel disconnected. I was like, okay, that in my head I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. But I just responded like, okay, feel better. And then I just walked away. And then like she reacted like what? Like she didn't expect me to do that, because every time she threw shade, I would just respond with love. Feel me? Like kill him with kindness. Feel me? Wait, I'm gonna hit you back with love, because listen, kill him with kindness. And that used to like really bother her. When I would post things on my Instagram, she would try to like argue with me about it. We were also in group chats, and she would like try to belittle me and stuff. She was just like one shady bitch. Girl was literally jealous of me the whole time. She was jealous of me, which is why she tried to belittle me, gaslight me the whole time I was around her. Yet she always wanted me around her. She would try to belittle me, but then she will follow up with that fake love to confuse me. But the whole time she was just stealing my energy. Like she was literally stealing my energy. And like one time she was like, you and me are gonna end up doing the same thing. I was like, yeah, but people mess with people. People watch different people for different reasons. Everyone has different energy. But when she said that, she was like, you and me are gonna end up doing the same thing. She said it like, oh, like you're my competition. Like I can't even be cool with you. Like, mad. She was just one shady, envious bitch. Like she was real ugly too. Like it made sense as to why she was really ugly, because when you're ugly, it shows outside of yourself that you're ugly too. But looks also can be deceiving. On a roll on social media, she had a lot of people supporting her because they were like, oh, like you're doing a good job, you're like spreading all this knowledge and stuff. But then after we fell out, people were starting to realize that she was full of shit. She was literally just full of it, and people were starting to realize it, and they realized that she was really just stealing my energy, trying to make me feel bad. The whole time I was the catch. I was the one that she was feeding off to get all that energy, which is why she always wanted me around her. But there was a lot of times where I was just around her and she was just on her phone. Like we were barely talking, she'll just be on her phone. Like she literally just wanted me around to like feed off my energy. But yeah, that's my story of how my mentor, ex-mentor slash friend, was stealing my energy. There was a couple things that she did teach me, some lessons that I needed to learn, and I'm grateful for that. But she has a lot of shadow work to do, and she was just a very fake person. She had a very using energy. If you guys like this story, hit that like button. If you guys want to hear more stories, I got a good one about dealing with a dark empath and a narcissist. So comment down below if you guys want to see that story. And yeah, I'm done for now.